Good afternoon. Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Today, I am really excited to talk to you guys about this topic because I'm actually doing a program right now where we're doing sort of it's an elimination diet, sort of the Whole30 type thing for 4 weeks. So we've been talking a lot about clean eating and how to survive it in the beginning, especially. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you don't already know me, my name's Jeray Pearson. I'm a holistic health coach, which holistic health takes into account the interconnected nature of our mind, body, and our spirit. But I also am all about cutting out toxins. That's a really big thing with me. So holistic health for me also, I'm sort of nature focused as well. So say hello when you hop on. If you see this in a replay, please let me know that you saw it in a replay. I appreciate you whenever you see it. I am going to hop right into this. I'm going to try and make this a little shorter. I'm going to try and cut down on my video times a little bit to keep everybody able to watch them. But this is 6 steps to starting a clean eating lifestyle is kind of where I'm going with this today. Because this is such a big learning experience. I think that with clean eating, it's a big mindset shift over a long period of time, years of time. I think we're still shifting our mindset around becoming really health focused in our mindsets. So this is, as a lifestyle is what I'm talking about today, how to make this happen. And I'm just going to give you 6 really fast, easy things that you guys can start doing right away to simplify adapting your new habits and everything. So the first one is we all have our go-to meals that we, go, like if we are short on time, or, the things that these are the things that we really keep on hand kind of, and there are go-to things. So if we really need to eat something right now, or without going to the store, what are the things that you go to? So they're usually easy meals that, the whole family kind of likes and enjoys, that, we don't have to put a lot of time and energy into, and we already have everything on hand. So I recommend the very first thing that we do is find our new, like a handful of go-to meals. So these are clean meals that become our staple meals, the ones that we just always pull out of our hat. So, when I was a kid, we ate a lot of spaghetti. There's sort of tacos. There's just a lot of things that, families tend to, they're okay eating it once a week if they want to, or if they need to. So that's what I'm talking about. For us, when I started seeking out healthier go-to meals, it became, there's a salad, like I like chef salad. So big chef salads became one of our staple meals. Stir fry is also a big one. I like to do fajitas so that I can eat fajita salads as well, without even the tortillas, as well as tacos. So we do that, with both of those. What else? Just steamed veggies and grilled chicken. That's one that we do quite often with just different veggies and things like that, or different spices and herbs. So seek out your healthy go-to meals and write them down at first so that you can start memorizing these and remembering them. And then also come from this list, then after you find those, you can start sort of shifting what your staple foods are that you have in your cupboards at home. So this is another thing. People are like, well, I can't find, when we start clean eating, people are like, well, I can't find anything in my cupboards that's healthy that I can eat, because we have compiled a bunch of things that might not necessarily be very good for us. So we have to start shifting that stuff. So that, this is education. So learning about Tetra Paks over aluminum cans, making sure that the canned foods that you do eat, or that you do have on hand, are organic, and that the cans themselves aren't leaching toxins and things like that. So we're just starting to shift what we have in our cupboards. And this is, for me, this was a really positive thing for me, because I learned about a lot of healthy, really flavorful foods that I hadn't thought of before I started trying clean eating and stuff. This is why restrictions actually kind of a good thing in some instances, because when you restrict what you normally eat and have to get creative and have to come up with other things, you learn what your new favorites are. This is something I was just talking in a coaching call with, but you learn a lot of really awesome things that you've been missing out on by just having your unhealthy go-to things. So start looking for flavor varieties in your staple foods, and keeping those things on hand. So I cook with a lot of artichoke hearts and sun-dried tomatoes, capers. Let's see, I think here. But I do a lot of Asian dishes, so that has all changed. So now I have a lot of bamboo shoots and just different things like that in my cupboard that I didn't have before. So I have just over the years learned how to add in more of the healthier foods and then less of the unhealthy canned foods. So getting away from canned soups and different canned things that are packed full of a lot of preservatives and things like that. This is also super helpful, especially as time goes on. It becomes a really awesome tool. If you collect recipes and just start collecting recipes, but keep them organized somehow, then that helps a lot. So when you try a recipe, if you like it, then it goes in a binder. So this becomes something I always encourage my clients to enlist their family members. So we have there's a whole program actually kind of about getting your family members, inspiring your family members and sort of help getting them to take action steps in, being part of this team, this clean eating health team of the family. So if you start doing this, so I did a calendar system. I do a calendar system. I haven't in quite a while because we've gotten kind of good at this and don't really need to anymore. But in the beginning, I did a calendar. So right on the wall outside of the kitchen so that they could sort of see where we were at, what we're having over the week, what dinners we were going to be eating, and then they could get their picks on the board. So they started kind of realizing that if meals are planned out for a week, I'm not going to have any say unless I start being proactive in this. And so that is sort of one of the helpful tools to get some family members on board. Just a little bonus here, but collecting the recipes is also, so that they know where the recipes are being stored. So that if they want, they can go and flip through them too. This also helps to get teenagers into cooking a little bit more so that they, if this is a big thing too, practicing what we preach is a big thing. And so when we are keeping food on hand that we ourselves wouldn't eat, this is something I'm currently kind of going through right now because I have teenagers. And so there's that question, should I, how strict should I be about what they eat and things like that? And I have learned that, like, when I take soda out of the house, this is a thing, they drink the green tea. So I don't know if Deb's still on. I mentioned this to her. So I've been making pitchers of green tea with fresh organic mango chunks in it. And then so my daughter and her teenage friend have been drinking it all. And I was like, I would so much rather that they're drinking antioxidants and not having all the sugar from the soda and everything, because she uses stevia to sweeten it even. So that's, they start kind of picking up on our habits without realizing that they're picking up on our habits. So it helps the whole family when you can start kind of getting organized with some of this stuff. It just kind of takes some consistency. They follow along a little ways behind us. So, all right. So this one's big. We spend, unless we're vegetarian or vegan, we spend the majority of our money on meats. So per pound, if you think about it, we're spending the most amount of money on our meats. So if you can save money on your meats, then I highly recommend that. And the ways that you can do that is by buying packages of good cuts of meat. So depending on where you live and what farms you have around you, you can look into some of that. If at all possible, save up for a few months if you need to buy, some packages of meat. And different depending on which butchers you go to, they will have packages that have, chicken and beef and pork, or however you want to package it up. But you need to have some freezer space for that. However, it does save you a lot of money in the long run when you do buy your meats that way. So that one is a big one. And that one also, I'm just going to throw in another little extra bonus is, the tools, the kitchen appliances that you use also are big tools. So like I am using my Instant Pot. I got an Instant Pot and I haven't stopped using it since I got it because it's so easy. So many things that you can cook in it. I have a crock pot that I use sometimes for certain things. So like if I make a pot of beans, it's usually in my crock pot overnight. There's just some things that are easier that way. Fryers, the oilless fryers that they have now are really amazing. So those, and toaster ovens, even things that just make it fast, where you can just roast some veggies real fast, or roast some chicken real fast without heating up the whole oven and all that. Those little things make all the difference in our mindsets, because we start going, it's so much work. We tell ourselves it's so much work. Think about it. We avoid using the food processor because it's going to be, we have to get it out. We have to clean it when we're done. Everything that we do, we are fully aware of how much time it's going to take us, how much effort it's going to take. And if we believe it's going to take too much effort, then we're not even going to start it. So using the right tools is really important, so that you're not working harder than smarter, right? So eating simple is also an option. We think that meals have to be super complex, but just cutting out the crap means you can just saute some stuff. You can just throw some chicken and veggies together in a pan, and that can be a meal. Every night doesn't have to be a 7-course meal, and it shouldn't be. I think that we start adding in a lot of additives because we're like, oh, but we need it to be something else. We need it to be better. We need it to be, super creamy and flavorful, and everything's got to be the way we're used to. And it doesn't have to be that way. So over time, our mindset starts shifting, and it becomes okay to sometimes eat more simple meals and not have to have anything super elaborate. But it takes time. I came from a family of people who liked to cook a lot. And so they were making big elaborate meals, multiple different types of canned foods and, cheeses and everything else. And so your taste buds start shifting. All of that starts shifting a little bit. And the foods that are healthy begin to taste better. Like I so much would rather eat clean. It just sometimes takes a little bit of work, right? So we avoid it, but then it's all worth it in the end. This is also something, gosh, I can't stress this enough. If you can put a little bit of extra time in, so this might not be right in the beginning. In the beginning, you can keep it kind of simple. As you go along, though, get creative with your meals, because as you get creative and you play with it, that's when you find out what's really possible, what types of meals are really possible, and they're not any less satisfying than something else that you would have eaten before. So have a lot of fun with trying new foods and just being sort of adventurous with it, and knowing that it's not always going to turn out and be something amazing. And that's kind of fun too. To be honest, later on, it's kind of fun. At the time, it's not super exciting to have a meal that isn't delicious, but it's learning. So this is another thing we sort of have been discovering in one of my groups. Mindset work can be really subtle, and with nutrition, even more so. So with nutrition, sometimes you just get to a point where one day something doesn't taste as good anymore because you have put the connection together that it isn't good for you. And so I was just talking to some people about, actually multiple people about this, because this is so common, and I see this all the time as a coach. All of a sudden somebody won't want to smoke as much, and they'll start tapering off their smoking because they're becoming more aware of health. Same with alcohol or anything else, not sleeping, getting enough sleep at night, and all those things. So the more fun you can have with it, the more your mind starts to shift in the way, in the health focused way. And because if we focus on the negative, we all know this, you focus on the negative, it's what you're going to be feeling all the time. And so it'll be a bad process, and then you will backpedal. And so that's why my groups and stuff are so helpful for people. I can't stress it enough, because when you have fun with other people, when other people are going through it, and you are able to sort of playfully banter back and forth about what you're going through and how to simplify things, giving each other tips and things like that, it's really helpful. So I do have upcoming nutrition programs if anybody's interested. I'm doing a 9-week gut repair healing detox program in March, for example. The week of healing is free. That starts tomorrow inside the private group, so my holistic nutrition group. And I will put a link for you guys so that you guys can jump in there. That's all you have to do, is just join the group and then follow along in the group, post recipes if you want to, and whatever. It's not a super active program. It gives you the tools that you need, and then I help you when you need to. So post in the group if you need anything. But that's every month. We do that the 1st through the 7th, totally free. It's just a way for us to cut out toxins and then boost our immune systems and really strengthen our bodies. It's, a healing program. So all real food and stuff. So hi, you guys. Thanks for hopping on. Let me know if you have any questions real quick. I am about to hop off of here. But as far as the food strategy stuff goes, this really is a practice. So don't get to, thinking this has to be perfect and that everything has to be exactly a specific diet or, specific anything. Because growth, I've been going through this for 10 years, and sometimes it's, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, right? And I've beat myself up way too many times over it. So just do your best and just keep going. Learning is the biggest. This is education, and so many people miss that it takes a lot of education to acquire new habits in nutrition, because otherwise everything's really difficult. Otherwise we're doing it the hard way. So when you educate yourself on what tools to use, where to shop, a lot of times we're shopping in the wrong stores and don't realize it. Where to shop, like I was saying, meats, we can do the same thing with veggies. Where should we be buying our veggies from? Because sometimes we're getting them from the wrong sources. So even asking around to your friends and stuff, if they know of local farmers and things like that, where you can get your eggs from, or whatever you want to do. There's strategy behind being successful in nutrition. And so it's finding your strategy, educating yourself in the areas that you're not sure about. If the nutrition plan itself is something that you're not sure about, then just start with cutting out chemicals and sugar, and then start researching your own symptoms, or your own, symptoms, your own needs for nutrition. All right. You're welcome, Deb. I love you guys. Holding space for you. I will be back here next Thursday. I'm shifting gears. We're getting close to Valentine's Day. So I'm going to do a little bit of self-love stuff. I'm not sure exactly what the topic is, but I know it's something closer to that. And then I'm doing we have a Me My Valentine program. That's a free self-love program in the Well Tribe group. And I will post a link to that as well. The 12th through the 14th, I will be doing just some self-love. It's a workshop. We're going to feel really good. We're just going to pump ourselves up and learn some self-love and care skills. And then on the 15th is the Galentine's Day celebration. That's for all the girls. So all of my girls will hopefully be able to make that. It's a Friday evening though. And we're going to get in our jammies if we want, and we're going to drink some cocktails if we want. And I'm going to give away a bunch of freebies. So free skincare stuff and a bunch of other stuff. So, all right, that's about it. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a good weekend.